In this video, we're going to talk about finishing edges on leather, different products to use, how to apply them, and my personal favorite and what I use all the time. So this is coming from a question that Willie asked. He asked, do I need edge paint? Can I just use dye? Can I use a marker? How much to apply? How do I get it nice and shiny and to stick? So we're going to hopefully answer that question all wrapped together in what we're going to cover here in this little quick video. But let's start looking at some different products that are out there, and again, how to apply those. We'll start with one here that is the least labor intensive of all of them. This is going to be a Dura Edge from Phoebe's, and this one here we're just going to be applying right onto our edge. It doesn't call for a bunch of burnishing or anything like that, so you'll have your smooth leather there. We make sure shake that product up. This one here, I'm going to show you an edge that has been finished in that Dura Edge already. Okay, now this has a dauber already attached to the inside of that. And we're going to simply paint this on using that dauber. Now this is a product that it's going to come in different colors, so this one's just a brown. But you can see where that's more of a one coat on there. It's kind of a thicker consistency, but pretty easy. Paint that on, let it dry, and it's going to dry and kind of shine up like that. Now, let's talk about edge coat. Edge coat's another product that we're going to put on with the dauber there. This one here, this is a neutral color, but this comes in black, brown, whatever, I think some different shades. This one here, this is going to have one more step to it, but you can see the edge it puts on there. It's a pretty darn nice finished edge, and to me this one feels a little bit slicker than the Dura Edge one. Again, that Dura Edge is a quicker one-step thing, but it doesn't have quite the feel for more of my higher-end products, I don't think. This edge coat, though, it's a pretty darn good product. Again, another easy one to use. It does not come with the dauber and the cap. You use a separate one. But again, we'll simply paint that on there. Now the consistency of this one is a lot thinner, so we need to really make sure we don't get too much on there and have it run or anything. And again, this does come in different colors, or I don't see why you couldn't put this edge coat over top of something that was already dyed, you know, if you have this neutral one here. But once you let that dry, again, I have two sides on here that are already done and dried, then it tells you come back with a soft rag or cloth or these little towels here, and you can come back and buff that. When you buff that, then you're going to get more of that shine to there. Okay? Now both of those say they're a flexible edge. Again, we'll get to my opinions at the end after I show you these different options here. But I just want to show you some of these options that are, again, none of them are hard. Just a few of them have an extra step or two. Here, where to go? I had an example. Oh, here we go, right here. Here's an edge, this black edge here, not much of a shine to it. However, I'm going to show you how this one's done. Now, this is one that a lot of leather people may not show you. They may actually frown upon this, but hey, I'm not really worried about people's opinions in that regard, so we'll just show you this little hack here too. But there's this special dye pen here. Oops, try to keep it on my leather on the edge there. But that special dye pen that just dyes that edge right up. Now here's the reason why most leather workers probably are going to frown on this, say blasphemy, whatever, you can't use that. There you go, Sharpie. Simple as that. We can use a Sharpie on the edge of leather and it's not the end of the world, okay? Is that what I use all the time? No, I don't. But yeah, I've used it in touch-up spots for different things. And I know some people that use these actually all the time. That's all they use. So it can be done. But let's move on to another idea, another method here. And this one here is actually my go-to that I use all the time. So what I have in this is a Phoebe's dye. So this is in this particular marker here is the Cordovan leather dye. I have other pins that have other things in there. I have another one over here. That's the Pro dye. I prefer the Pro dye if it comes in the color that I want. Cordovan actually just comes in the leather dye. Cordovan, Cordovan, everybody says it different. I don't even know the actual way to say it, but I call it Cordovan. This little pin here, I'm going to show you one of these. They may have them other spots too, but I got mine from Maker's Leather Supply down in Texas, and they're really cool. I'm going to show you how they work without dye in there, but it has this foam tip in here that shoves down there. It's kind of spring loaded. Then reverse threads on the fill side here, but that opens up. That pops out and you pour your dye in there. So they're refillable, which is real nice. This one here, like I said, has that Cordovan in there. Now with these, when I use them, I usually keep a kind of a scrap of leather around here and just hit that down a couple times. Now we can run right along that edge. Make sure we get that dye in there really good. And the thing about this dye is it's absorbing into the fibers of that leather, just like when you're dyeing any other part of that leather, right? It's soaking in. So it's not just sitting on the surface. You know, where some of the thicker acrylic type of ones or whatnot, I don't even know if acrylic, but this thicker one like a Dura Edge, it's going to have some that soaks in there, but in my opinion, strictly my opinion, I don't think that's going to soak in as much as this dye will. And it being that thicker edge on that Dura Edge one, I don't know that that's going to be the best product for a lot of things that I do, where belts in and out of loops and, you know, wearable type of products like that. I think some of these edges, you know, with your Edge Coat and Dura Edge, there's other products out there from other brands, Edge paints and whatnot, that, again, just me and what I do. I think for, you know, wall hangings or placemats or trivets or leather ballets, things like that that aren't getting flexed and moved and worn a bunch, I think about anything you do on the edge is going to hold up fine. Sorry about that, kicking our deal there. But for me, I like dyeing that edge, and then now we need to finish that. So I come back, again, this is more of a labor intensive process, but I'll come back with gum tragacanth on the edges. And again, there's other things you can use on edges. There's Toconol, Martin's Mix, Edge Slick, lots of other different products. This gum tragacanth is just my preference. But over top of that dye, we're going to come back with some sort of an edge finish like this. And this is where we're going to get that shiny, slicked up edge to it. Okay, so we put that product on there, and we'll come back with a little scrap of canvas. And now we can start actually slicking that edge and burnishing that. And that's going to work with this product here, the friction and the heat. And we start to work that into the fibers of the leather there. Now this is a piece that I hadn't even sanded down, so it didn't start super slick to start with. Again, a little more labor intensive, but a lot of times it seems like the little quick one-step things don't give you the same results. But now you can see that shine on that edge, get more of a glass smooth finish to that, as opposed to some of your one-step products like the Dura Edge there. It's not going to slick the same way this will. Now again, if you're using soft leathers and things like that, well, probably a Dura Edge coat's going to be the way to go. Yeah, and everything's going to have its use, and you'll find that as you try things on different products that you make, you have to find what works for you. Again, this, for what I do, what we really specialize in with belts, I really like dyeing and gum trag on those edges, but there's several options for you. Again, with anything leatherwork, there's no one right way. This is what I use, what works for me. All these other products, they work as well, and they have they're going to have their own spot and use for that. So again, if I was going to rate these and I was picking them personally, my number one choice for most stuff is going to be that dye and gum trag worked in there. My next would be that edge coat put on there and then shined up. There we go, there's our shined up edge. From there would be the Dura Edge, and then lastly, if we're in a pinch, we go with that Sharpie.